beautiful. Her smile just lit up the room. When she came in, she had on like this bright yellow dress, so everybody immediately like just turned and was like drawn to her. So Kada was special.
Dozens of people gathered to pray, place candles, flowers, and gifts, including her Aunt Donna.
Thank you for not giving up. And even though this is the worst thing that we could have possibly hoped for, we were able to get our baby back.
See, when I said what I said the other day about it being school safety police, they're not here now, they're gone. And back there is where they found new remains of a new body, allegedly. You feel what I'm saying? So you're supposed to have the FBI, different agencies, forensics, you know what I'm saying? They supposed to be out here, and allegedly they found new remains. So that's why I say this city is fucking corny. Look, there's no one in sight. None. No police in sight. Except for this news camera. None in sight. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They're going to treat you like the next person, regardless of who you is and how you passed away. It's unfortunate, Kada Scott. The city of Philadelphia has failed you.
In the days since Kada Scott's body was found, more information has come to light about the alleged conversation the two had leading up to her demise. On October 22nd, the medical examiner would also release that her cause of unaliving was a homicide. However, they did not release exactly what type of homicide. So in turn, Keon will receive new charges that were also filed, including murder, robbery, theft, tampering with evidence, abuse of a corpse, obstruction of justice, and related offenses. In those court records on Wednesday, investigators would detail cell phone evidence that they say connected Keon and Kada through cell phone conversations in the area linked to Kada's disappearance and where her body was ultimately found. The documents will reveal some damning information, and one particular text that's now part of the investigation was sent at 10:07 a.m. on October 4th, nearly 12 hours before Kada disappeared. In it, she texts the words, "Nap me again," to a number that police have linked to Keon. The reply that came back was "better be up too," which was followed by plans to meet up later that night. Well, we all know later that night is when Kada was at work, and that's when she disappeared. Law officials would say Keon's alleged criminal conspiracy will begin just before midnight on October 3rd, when court records show that he stole a Hyundai Accent left unattended and running by a food delivery worker on the 6600 block of Sprague Street. Investigators say he then used the stolen car to meet up with Kada Scott the following night. Charging documents say that Kada and Keon made plans to meet up, with the final text message between the two being, "Call me when you're here." 6 minutes later, at 10:15 p.m., that's when investigators say the two appear to be together near Kada's place of employment based on cell phone data. Then from there, cell phone data will put Keon and Kada arriving together at the Aubrey Rec Center parking lot next to the Ada Lewis Middle School. The surveillance cameras will pick up their arrival and show the car being backed up into a parking spot. At 10:24 p.m., that is when Kada's phone would stop transmitting any signal. Now from that point, October 5th is when her family will report her missing. That same day at 11:39 p.m., a little over 24 hours after Keon first met up with Kada, police say the Toyota Camry owned by Keon, so that gold Toyota Camry that they initially told, pulled into that rec center parking lot, and two people would get out of that car and were seen going to the vacant middle school. Now this is the kicker. 4 hours later, they returned. They were gone at the vacant middle school for 4 hours, and it appears they probably were digging a hole at that time, because then the court records allege they returned to the car, removing a heavy object that was consistent with a human body, and moved in a direction beyond the parking lot into the area Scott's remains were found in that shallow grave last Saturday. Police then said the Hyundai Accent was set on fire on October 7th. On October 9th, police would execute a search warrant at a home in the 5500 block of Belmar Terrace and found 3 phones, 1 tablet, contractor bags, latex gloves, a hammer, and 9mm ammunition, according to court documents. Prosecutors say they were able to piece together Keon's alleged involvement by tracking his cell phone as well as picking up his movement on surveillance camera. Criminal complaint also says that Keon's cell phone was tracked taking multiple trips between the Belmar Terrace home and the area around the vacant Ada Lewis Middle School where Kada was found.
The Philadelphia Medical Examiner has now ruled Kada Scott's a homicide. That laid word from police this afternoon, who now say they're recommending murder charges against Keon King, the man already charged in her disappearance. All this happening just hours after new court documents reveal details about phone calls and text messages between King and Scott on the very day she went missing.
Now, I do know how Kada Scott was murdered. We're not releasing that information, making sure that the family has been notified. But police department is recommending to the DA to file those murder charges, and just a few of the new details we're learning about the disappearance and murder of Kada Scott. Keon King's alleged criminal conspiracy began just before midnight on October 3rd, when court records say he stole a Hyundai Accent left unattended and running by a food delivery worker. Investigators say he'd used that stolen car to meet up with Kada Scott the following night. Charging documents say Scott and King made plans to meet up, with the final exchange between the two being, quote, "CM when you hear." 6 minutes later, at 10:15 p.m., investigators say the two appeared to be together near Scott's place of employment, based on cell phone data. It'd be the last time Scott would be seen alive. At 10:24 p.m., Kada Scott's phone goes offline. Using cell phone technology, investigators tracked King to this house on the 5500 block of Belmar Terrace. A search of the house turned up contractor bags, a hammer, and ammunition, among other items, according to the complaint. 2 women who live there were detained and interviewed but released. King was not at the house. No other accomplices at this point have been charged. Police continue to investigate, though. I did reach out to King's attorney and so far have not heard back.
Now, as was released in the last press conference, law officials believe that there is a conspiracy and that other people were involved. And this shows that someone allegedly helped Keon dig a grave and possibly even more. The text messages between the two were very disturbing, and the fact that she says to nap her. I believe that conversation was meant for what he did in the streets, and that might have been his code word that he gave her to say when she wanted to receive something. And that in itself is just diabolical to think about. To tell someone to kidnap me again so you can bring them something, but in reality, you really were going to do that. And that's just so sad. Kada never saw it coming. She had no clue of the evil she ran into. My continued thoughts and prayers for this family, the community, and everyone involved trying to get justice for Kada. Her life mattered, and she should still be here. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts about these new developments. And also, do you feel that the community should want the school tore down or should it stay up? Let me know your opinion on that. So don't forget to comment your prayers for this family in their continued difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.